Prem se bolo Mahapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Sitaram and welcome everybody. This evening, we here at the Sri Krishna Seva Ashram started off. Tonight is our first night of virtual Ramayan Yagna. This Yagna is being done as a series of Yagna that we will be doing, and I want to do it virtual so that you could see me in your home. We're doing it because of the Sri Ram Janam Bhumi inauguration, the mandir where Sri Ram takes birth in Ayodhya in India on the 22nd of this month, January 2024. This temple is going to be inaugurated, meaning the yantra where below the mandir, where the mandap is, where the main murti is going to be, that yantra will be covered by the murti of Sri Ram and will never be seen again. Never to be seen again. The yantra is that mystical drawing that brings the power where the worship is going to be done, to invite Sri Ram once and for all to come and stand in that mandir. And that's a significant step, because now the invitation process, the invocation process, all the festivities, all the things that are going to happen means that Sri Ram is coming back home to Ayodhya. It's very strange. And I'm saying these things because plenty of people are confused because of what is going on, what they are hearing from different religious leaders in the Hindu faith. I've heard Baba, what prompted these yagya, right? I heard Baba that somebody said there are 2 Diwalis this year, and that confused a lot of people. Diwali is later in the year. The definition, the true Diwali, later in the year. No argument about that. But for those people that live in North India and our ancestors, in the migration process from India to here, we came from North India. They practice the belief that Diwali is the return of Sri Ram. Sri Ram is coming home. So we lit diyas in the walkway, in the courtyard, in the entrance to your home to usher him, to show him the way. And for Rama Ayodhya me aaye, Ram is coming back to Ayodhya. So with the consecration of this Ram Janam, meaning where he's born, the earth, Janam Bhumi means the earth where he's born, this is going to be, blessed and sanctified, made sacred by his energy. Sri Ram is coming home. And because of that, a call was sent out for religious leaders, Hindus throughout the world, the entire diaspora of Hindus, that on this day globally we are going to welcome and celebrate Sri Ram. That in the run-up, Yagya, Satsang, Ramayan Yagya, teachings of Sri Ram, his chanting, his singing, his glories should not be deficient. It should be, on the rise, should be done. So, from our part here at the ashram, we wanted to support you wherever you may be. There are many people that follow our work, whether spiritual or charitable seva type. We always have a following all over the world, not only in South Trinidad where we are located physically, or in Trinidad on the whole. So for many people who may be not able to go to India, many people who may not even get to, to view it because of the time difference. I believe when the actual moment when the ceremony is going to happen in Ayodhya, it may be 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in our time here in Trinidad. So for some people, children may not be able to wake up, etc. So we decided that we are going to do Yagya as per the request, and we wanted to do it virtual to reach more people, for those people that are isolated from mandirs and may not get to touch a murti or listen to the katha or reach even into the ashram. So here we are, starting our first Yagya. For the next 3 weeks, we are going to broadcast three nights. We're doing 3 nights with different discourses. This Yagya I'm doing Valmiki Ramayan. I want to do Kak Bushundi and other discourses in subsequent weeks as we do the run-up to the coming of Sri Ram on our January Diwali, as it were. So that is the premise under which we meet here tonight. And I again welcome you, if you came in after the fact, to our first night of our 3 nights Yagya this week here, starting tonight. Ramayan, strangely enough, Trinidad in particular, the West Indies, long ago, when I was younger, we were labeled as Ramayan country. We were people that saw an affinity, a likeness with the exile of Sri Ram leaving, Ayodhya, the motherland. And we felt that connection because our people had left India and we had to journey now to parts unknown, Suriname, Guyana, Trinidad, and other places. And then again, we migrated many people to North America, England, and wherever work, money, prosperity, wherever it took you. To be honest, there are people of Indian, Hindu background wherever you go. And in that change of home, the fact that Sri Ram is uprooted, as it were, and he has to interact with goodly and not goodly along his travels, the good days, the bad days, the crying, the tears, the pain, the hardship that he endures and still never gives up, but is encouraged by the companions, by the strangers, that people that belong to different species. Think about Jamant. He's a bear. He is not like the Kshatri. The person who is in the comforts of the castle with the crown on his head, he is brought solace with people that understand his stature. People who also wear a crown on his head. But this guy, he doesn't have that. He's isolated long far from his family. He's isolated from people in his status quo. There's no likeness, there's no body. But they are bears, Vanar, let's say for our language, monkeys. The proper term, half monkey, half human, features of both, because they were able to stand upright. For you to wield the weapons and do different type of, acrobatics and fighting and stance and postures, pose, you couldn't be hunched down on four. Homo erectus, for those of you in the university studying the growth of mankind before the Homo sapien, there was something called Homo erectus. And as we are learning about ourselves, rediscovering the human race as it were, what we describe with the jaw, with the strength, the superhuman strength, Homo erectus, which is the missing link between the development from monkey to man, we still cannot find that true, proof. And in our Hindu text, it's labeled right there that there were standing people that had monkey-like features, reminiscent of a tail. When you hear people talk about your tailbone, the tailbone is an added flesh, but it was reminiscent from a time that human beings, it is believed, that had a tail. But as evolution time is passing, different adaptations did come. Sri Ram is surrounded by different forms of life, different walks of life. Not only rich, kingly, and princely people, not silk and sari, but now he's dependent on the boatman. He's dependent on Sukriv. He's dependent on people where he cannot venture into the city. But those emissaries, those workers, those friends will go, Angad and Hanuman and others will go and speak on his behalf with a fervor, with a strength that he cannot go for himself to see. He's missing his spouse. And all this is happening. The Leela of Sri Ram is happening. And our people, wherever they went, and they were ostracized and they were ridiculed. In Trinidad, people were ashamed of their roti and their fried moko or fried plantain, fried banana. The delicacies of our people was something substandard. That's poor man's food. The clothing, many children today are ashamed to wear their dhoti. Many people are ashamed to practice their dharma. But in those times, I couldn't sit for prayer and not have on my dhoti. I couldn't go to prayer like my dear without my urni. I couldn't do certain things. I had to have respect. And in the hardships of the land, in the hardships of the agriculture and, poverty and hunger, there was an affinity with Sri Ram and his hardships. And for that reason, of all the Hindu texts, Skanda Puran, Padma Puran, Narad Puran, and many others, Ramayana was the love, it was the blood, it was the bow. It represented the here, Raghukula. And you would hear, I remember my grandfather, them had their Ramayana, and they would sing, and men with their coffee, and little boy, and you're listening, and you're waiting one day you would know what they're talking about. But that was their joy. Ramayana remained the lifeline, the lessons inherent, Sam, Dan, Dand, Ved, and the many teachings of Sri Ram, and he's speaking to his brothers, and he's telling them about what saintly people look like, what sinful people look like. These teachings ran through our people. It was there. However, you and I, we live in an age where online Ramayana exists. We have television, we have radio, we have internet, we have WhatsApp videos. I'm sure I'm speaking on somebody's WhatsApp. You can go on YouTube, and when you have to get up and use the washroom, pause the pundit. Midway, pundit is paused. And when you come back, continue pundit. I have chores to do, I have homework to do, pause pundit, pause Guruji. And when, whether now or 10 years from now, continue Guruji. Guruji is no longer alive. One day we all have to go. I'll be dead. And I will still be pause, playback, read the Katha pundit. That memory, that ability is inherent. It's there. Wow. But you know what? I had the experience the other day of asking a young person about talking about the knowledge of Ramayana. And the person told me that Ravan dressed up based on his knowledge in the cartoon, television. Ravan dressed up as a pandit, and he tricked Sita Mata, and he held on to her hand and he kidnapped her. If you ask a young person, what's the problem? If you ask a young person, could you recite a chaupai? No, the pandit does that. That's the pundit's job. But you don't know your books. Tonight, as we begin, I am simply raising a point. And, leave me a comment. Those of you watching me on Sankhya, send them a comment. We have more ways, more technological, savvy ways of getting the message across. But somehow, it is as if we as a people, and I'm saying we as a people, as a younger generation, know less of our God, our Dharma, our books. It is as if we are becoming more and more distant. Now, in Kalki Puran, where Lord Vishnu is coming back as Kalki Avatar, it is predestined that in this age of Kali Yuga, and I'm saying this to agree with it, that you will see a shortened lifespan of man, and with that lifespan shortening, attention span shortens. Attention span is shortening. The ability to conceive and hold concepts of good and God also goes. Your quality, your standard of living, praying, the idea of lighting diya, doing puja or fainadar, none of these things are priority. Why would I do that? All these changes are happening before our eyes faster than a person can imagine. The scourge of crime, the scourge of disease, it's happening in front of our eyes. But in various parts of our text, various texts for that matter, it says that the only thing that could assist a person in these dark times is the power of the name of God. In particular, any name in Garud Puran, Prit Manjali. If you use any name of Mahavishnu, Krishna is paramount and closer to the Kali Yuga. So he says that is the greatest name to burn mountains of sin into ash. But the name Ram is no different. In our preface to our satsang this evening, We begin by understanding the value of Ram and the glory of Ram. Because many people like to hear the pundit. There's a little problem with that. Your idea of yagya is a little confused. I'm saying confused. Here why. What is a yagya? Is a word sacrifice in English. Bhagavad Gita in chapter 3 talks about, he says that when creation was made, he says, I've created everything and this thing called yagya. Yagya, when utilized, will give you the happiness you are looking for. Go ahead and practice it. Make sacrifice. Train the person, train yourself that you listen. Shravanam, I'm practicing. When Sri Ram is speaking to Shabri, what they talk about, forget the fruit, the bite or no bite, chepak or no chepak, forget that. Focus on what they were talking about, different forms of devotion. And he says the person who practice listening. Why is this? You are looking at me on your screen, whether your phone, your computer, your television. Why is it relevant? By listening to prayer, I get the blessings of the prayer. By watching the prayer, I get the blessings of the prayer. I don't have to be by the baby prayer. Older people knew. Your mousy, your poor have prayers, are going to witness the prayer. I am going to hear prayers. They said it. But me and you, we didn't understand. So now we have to relearn our dharma. These tools were created for Kali Yuga, where maybe we lack the back strength or the ability with feet to fold for 10,000 years. Maybe very quickly we need to get our blessings. So listen to prayers. Think about the prayers. Practice. Tell somebody what you learned. And you will get the blessing as if you did the prayer. Or the yagya in this case, yagya. The person who practices yagya is freed from past sins. Praschit karma. Praschit karma is when I am asking for forgiveness. Forgiveness. By listening. Just by listening, that's all. Just by, you're sitting on your couch tonight, but I want you to pay attention to it. Don't rob yourself. How do we rob ourselves? You could do it, I could do it. If I did it, meaning Sri Ram went up the hill. The hill represents the burdens that you and I face, and it means this. The narrator, the Vyas, is not supposed to interpret. Understand how Hindu yagya, Hindu satsang is supposed to go. The person who is listening, let's say there are how many of you watching on television, YouTube, or wherever you are, different people have different karma. Based on your karma, a person has a different understanding, attention span, the ability to imagine a concept, hold the idea, faith, your level of faith. Could we imagine the knowledge, the words to understand between maybe a 50-year-old and a 5-year-old? And you say, you know what, Pandit, I understand there's a difference. Likewise, it have people who have mental problems. It have people who have birth defects. It have people who cannot hear. It have people who cannot see. So they are robbed of the opportunity to look at prayer, to listen to prayer. There are people who have no hands. People who have reached a point that maybe they can't reach to the Yagyashala. So they are robbed. It's happening in their life, but they cannot reach. They cannot taste the prasad because of how health reach. If I put a morsel of that prasad to my mouth, Pandit, my sugar will shoot up so high, my diabetes will shoot up so high. I might do the yagya now, I might taste the prasad now, and I might die just after. Because of how health comes, it is a limiting factor. So we become boxed in. We are limited. So when now the person sits where I am as the narrator, I am not supposed to interpret. I recite, I orate, I give with expression the words of God, the imagery of God said, God did, God acted. I'm taking the time to explain this so that whether myself or other Babas are talking, you could benefit. I want your perspective to be point on. Please understand. If I were to tell you, okay, the pen represents the bad and the dark sides of our life, then it is as if you become a machine. Pandit said, the pen come like the hardship in my life. That's all you understand. Whereas, based on your level of thinking and intuition, which is good, you would say, you know what, when I get in that accident, this was like the black pen. The bad things that happened in my life, I don't want bad things to happen in my life, but they tell me what I could do. And in this way, a child would interpret Sri Ram's discourse, a lady would interpret Sri Ram's discourse, a grandfather would interpret Sri Ram's discourse in different ways. But we're sitting together. This one satsang is being aired. YouTube, Facebook, how you call it, Sankhya, in different places, north, south, east, west. But different people will take away different tidbits. In small morsels, it might add value to your life. But if we take the time to only talk things that are not listed here, if we only take the time to talk my opinion, my Keshava opinion, and not Sri Ram's words, my words don't have the ability to give salvation. I need salvation myself. So, in this way, we have come together. We have come together to chant the words of tonight, Valmiki Ramayan. Valmiki, not Tulsidas, Valmiki's Ramayan. We are going to discuss in these 3 nights the history of that person called Jatayu and Sampati, for the benefit of children and younger ones, for those that haven't heard it in a while, for those people that may not know who Sampati is or who Jatayu is. There are many, many people. I just want to remind you, if you know, listen to it. Why are we doing it? To commemorate the establishment, re-establishment of the Sri Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, where he was born. I'll give you a little bit about that before. But let's go and say our prayers now. Having prefaced our satsang, put your hands together, wherever you may be. Close your eyes, concentrate your mind a little bit, and let's join together. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. He Ram. He Ram. He Ram. हमें दया करो. ओम गजाननम भूतगणादिसेवितं कपेत जम्बो फलचारभक्षितम् उमासुतं शो कविनाशकारकं नमामि विघ्नेश्वर पारपङ्कजम्. Sarvamangala-mangalye. Tonight, if you know this Ramayana, this section of Ramayana where you are, pray to the goddess. Mother, tonight we have the darshan of listening to your discourse. Shive sarvartha sadhike Sharanye Trayambike Gauri Narayani Namostute. Ma, because of your wish, it was time. It was time for this Leela to unfold. Because of for those of you that know the discourse of Vedvati, because of the past, the karma, the touching of some hair, Ravan was destined to meet you. Tonight your children have the blessing to listen to you. Wherever I be, wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, Mother, may you come into my home, come into my life and help me. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Gurudevo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Let's think of Shri Ram. राम रमिति जग अमित अनंत, महिमा कही ना सकहिं श्रुति शांत। राम नाम जो देता भुलाई, महानीसी सोई लेत भुलाई। राम बिन ओरो होत अंधेरा, मन सोहि दुख सहित घनेरा। राम ही आदि अनादि कहावत, महाव्रती शंकर गुण गावता। राम नाम लहि ब्रह्मा पर, मही कर बर शेष शीरधर। रखी राम हिया शंभु सुजन, महाघोरा विष किनो पाना। राम ही महिले की लेक महेशु, महापूज्य करे दियो गणेशु। राम रमिति रस गतीत, भक्ति घट गट मन के भाजत। हिम कुलालत प्रेम प्रतात, राम नाम रसन रस शोभा। मर्दन काम क्रोध मद लोभा। ओम नमो रामाय नमः। ओम दशरथाय विद्महि, सीतावलाभ्य धीमहि। तन्नो राम प्रचोदयात्, तन्नो राम प्रचोदयात्, तन्नो राम प्रचोदयात्। सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। In Sitaram again to everybody who came in after. Cordial welcome. As the members of the Sri Krishna Seva Ashram, I, Pandit Keshava Gosine, join together with you again as we do Yagya, virtual Yagya. In 1528, the head, what would have been the head of the Mughal dynasty historically, Babri or Babru, some different texts. He started the Mughal dynasty at that time, 1528. Around that time, he destroys the Sri Ram Mandir, the real Mandir, in the spot where Sri Ram was born, Janam Bhumi Mandir in Ayodhya. And in its place, they reuse, it's not like what we have, building materials, rock sheet and red blocks and so on, stone, solid stone. So they destroyed the mandir, but they reused the stone material, some of it, in the preparation of what became Babri Masjid or Mosque. And it had a lot of conflict. Many people died on both sides, one side attacking the other side and so on. Hindus killed Muslims, Muslims killed Hindus historically over you could imagine the length of time, different, fighting over this place. And then in recent times, it was arbitrated in the court that the place would be reallocated to the Hindu group, the mosque would be destroyed, broken down, and the Sri Ram Janam Bhoomi Mandir would be recreated so that they could hold to their spot, the Hindus, and do their worship based on the historical value of it for them. In India, I mean. And they gave 5 acres of land so that the Babri Masjid, because that too is history, 400 years of history, people praying in this place many times for the day, many times. So it has value to them, and it is, in all fairness, true. So both sides were maintained, but the particular spot had more value to the Hindu according to the court. This temple is going to open on the 22nd of this January. So throughout the world, many denominations of the Hindu faith are chanting Ramayana, recalling. Even in the in the Jainism, in that religion, that is like how you have Buddhism and Jainism and different sect of Hindu, they celebrate Jatayu. They celebrate Jatayu a lot because of his thinking, who he was, and what he is able to gain. This evening, as we enter into Valmiki's Katha, we are going to spend a little time listening to this discourse. Put your hands together as we say a couple of verses from the Ramayana Sumira. You close your eye and concentrate your mind, asking Sri Ram for his choicest blessings. Jo sumirat siddhi hoy, he Rama, Gananayak Karivad Bhadana, Karivad Bhadana, Karahu Anugraha Soy, Buddhi Rashi Shubha Guna Sadhana, Buddhi Rashi Shubha Guna Sadhana. Mukha hoi vachal pangu, pangu chadhe giri varagahana, giri varagahana, jasu kripa sudhayal, dravahu sakala kali maladahana, kali maladahana. Nila Sarorahu Sham, Taruna Aruna Barijanayana, Barijanayana, Karahu, Karahu Sumama Urdam, Sada Shira Sagara Shayana, Sagara Shayana, Bandho Guru Parakanja, Kripa Sindhu Nara Rupa Hari, Nara Rupa Hari, Maha Moha Tamapunja, Jasu Vachana Ravi Karanikara. Together. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja, Nijamana Mukura Sudhari, Mukuru Sudhari, Varano Raghuvara Vimala Jasho, Jodayaka Palachari, Jodayaka Palachari, Buddhi tanu janiki, buddhina tanu janiki, Sumiro Pavana Kumar, Bala Buddhi Vedya Dehu Mohi, Harahu Kalesha Vikar, Harahu Klesha Vikar. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja, Nijamana Mukura Sudari, Mukura Sudari, Umapati Mahadeva ki jai, Pawan Sutta Hanuman ki jai, Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki jai, Vrindavan Krishna Chandra ki jai. Sharanam. Vrindavan Bihari Lala ki jai. Seva Ramachandra ki jai. So, at the very beginning, many people, young children I'm referring, cannot recall who Jatayu is. So, in our first night, we enter into Aranya Khan. We start here. Aranya Khan, Canto, Prabhu, 49 is this? 48? In this section, as we celebrate Prabhu, because I know I have some people recording, bear with me. I cannot remember those Roman numerals. As we celebrate the Katha of Sri Ram, Jatayu has always been something that has stumped people. Meaning, here he is just a bird. He is a bird. This person, this personality is a bird. And he is not Kshatriya. He is not these great warriors. People that would have been worthy of great prominence, gifts, honor. We are starting in chapter 49 of the Aranya Khan, Valmiki's Ramayan. But Jatayu is the person at the very onset of our discourse. Jatayu has achieved three things, three big things, the last of which, Sri Ram does his Antishti Sanskar, he does the funeral rite. Dasrath, as good as he is, as great as he is, does not have that blessing. People ask, if Sri Ram does the funeral for Jatayu, what did they offer as the pinda? I go to the Pujas store and I get the grind rice. What did he use? What was offered? How was it offered? Why was it offered? Was it as the child told me, Ravan dressed up like a pundit and he went and he grabbed the lady hand and he pulled she and he carried she and they gone? Was it just that? Tonight, we listen to the actual what Jatayu did, what happened to Jatayu, and then we want to hear more. So tomorrow night, night after, we are going to hear from the words of Sampati. We enter where the conflict in chapter 49, the conflict between, this is the Sri Ram went for the deer. Lakshmana has been told, you have to go and get Ram. I heard his voice. The person in disguise transforms his body to look totally different. Ravan has come to talk to Sita Mata. And now, Sita Mata has spoken harsh words to him. Let's hear what happens. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatma Namo Namah. Evam Bruvrat Ye Sitaya Sanrabhyah Purusham Vachah Lalate Ye Bru Krutiyatam Kritva Ravana Prachaya Vachah Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Seva Ramachandra ki jai. Sita Mata in the previous chapter had spoken harsh to him that you are trying to take me, you are trying to do, you don't know who I am, you don't know who my husband is. And this is where we enter. Ravan is going to reply. Ravan says he feels provoked. Valmiki is speaking. He feels provoked. He feels that he has been insulted now. Regardless of what he's doing, he's insulted. And Sita Mata says, he says to Sita Mata, good luck to you, dear lady. I am the 10-headed Dashanan, the half-brother of Kubir, the son of sage Vishwarav. Ravan is my name. The gods, the Devatas, the Gandharvas, Kinnaras, Nagas, all of them, different forms of heavenly beings, fear. They run in terror when I come close. They are afraid of death, as if I am the Yamraj you hear about. They start to scatter when I come close. My own half-brother Kubir had to abandon his city Lanka out of fear of me. I dwelt on the Kailash Parbat, and because of my prayers, my Bhardan, my Ashirwad, Shiv Baba gives to me different types of blessings, making me more and more powerful. My pushpak, my vehicle allows me to roam from here, one place to the next. I am that Ravan. And I feel as if you have provoked me to a fight, dear beautiful one, dear princess of Mithila. Whoever I halt, not even the wind will blow, not even the sun will shine, not even the moon will glow if I do not permit it. The trees cannot allow their leaves to rustle. The river cannot gurgle with its tide if I do not permit it. So powerful am I. Beyond the sea stands my capital of Lanka, vying against, as if it is fighting against Amaravati, the city of Indra. So powerful. It is full of all the demons or the ogres, the fierce demons that are just waiting for me to give an order to fight. They all work for me. Within that white city, within the walls, all the apartments, house built of gold, beautiful cat's eye gems and jewels stud every single wall. The apartments have beautiful animals outside, horses, elephants. Their chariots, musical instruments play unstopped. Without yielding, trees bear fruits. The gardens, they bloom with flowers. And you, O Sita, you are going to dwell there with me. Chapter 12, Slok 12. You will no longer remember like mortal women, enjoying human delights. You will no longer think of this mortal called Ram. Don't think of him, whose life has now departed. As I told you, he's no more. What use have you for this Ram, who is like an ascetic, praying in the forest, practicing austerity, who has lost his throne, lost his sovereignty, and consequently, you are as if you have lost everything yourself. You're living in hardship. You're going through all forms of discomfort. Oh, princess, come with me and you will be happy. Though the eldest son of his father, Dashrath's son, he is without throne, without city. He is no prince regent. He is nobody. Bharat is the person who is going to become the son on this throne. He is the pet. He is the one that everybody loves. Rakshas sabhartarang kamya swayama gatim gatam naman mata sharirishta pratakatum tamaharyasi Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Shri Vishnu Bhagwan ki Jai. He says, dear Devi, do not spurn me, do not insult me, do not rebuke me, do not push away me. I am overcome by the shafts of love from the arrows of Cupid. He's indicative of that. The mortal Ram is not equal to one finger of my hand in the battlefield. Therefore, accept me and count yourself lucky. Be grateful that I am coming after you. Sita Mata replies, how after calling that god Kubir, who is hailed by all the gods, your half-brother, he is so great, and you're calling him your half-brother? What type of foul deed is this, O demon, O Ravan? It is inevitable that you will perish. Somebody who is cold-hearted and evil-hearted has not been able to subdue your perversions, your lust, your clamoring for wealth, land, lust, woman, or what belongs to other people. You want to own it. That covetous, you cannot control yourself. It is going to bring your doom and your gloom, your sadness. Not only will you be destroyed, but you will be sad, you will be grieving because of it. It may be possible to survive after carrying me away, the consort of Sri Ram. Having laid your hands, you talk about Indra afraid in you. Having laid your hands on Sachi or Indrani, another name for the wife of Indra, that one who is peerless beauty, one may survive long. You may still be able to live. But on treating a woman like me, because of my goodness, my chastity, with indignity, there will be no escape for you in this life or the next. There will be no end to punishment for you. The suffering that you are going to experience. It could be what drink of immortality you could tell yourself. It will bring end, it will bring suffering, it will bring destruction, not only to you, but to your sons, to your family, to the warriors that you are so proud about. Trouble will come. Hearing the rebuke of Sita, violently striking his hand against the other in anger, Ravan takes his true form. So now the garb changes, and he takes a giant form, a master of expression. He once addressed following the words to Sita, I believe my valor and my prowess has not been heard by you today, you insane girl. And he allows his body to expand and grow into the air. And he says, I, Ravan, with this hand, I lifted up the Kailash Parbat. I could hold the ocean in my hand and drink it dry. Stationed on the battlefield, I destroyed and I held captive not only Shani, that son of Surya, but also Yamraj. I have the power to take any form I wish. Do you know who I am? His eyes became red and violent, and abandoning the calm form, the aspect that he was once there, he begins to burn with rage. He says, I am the younger brother of Kubir. I am the younger brother, the brother of Kumkaran. I am the master of all the different demons. And with the anger, his modas, although he had on gold now, his true crown and everything, his body became very dark. Dark inside, dark outside. And all the disguise melted away. Let's hear what happens in this verse. Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. Pratipeda Sakaye Rupan Ravano Rakshas Sadipa Shiraktambar Dharastato Stire Ralam Pratakshyate Jaya Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. O Ravan, O Lord of all the demons. Sita Mata looking at him, looking at his dark hair, his dark features, his glowing red eyes. Ravan says to her, if you desire a husband that is well known throughout these three worlds, heaven, Patal, earth, a husband that is capable of protecting you and not leaving you defenseless, then look no further than me. I am a husband who is worthy than you. Serve me for a long time. I am a husband that is worthy of praise for you. People will say how great I am. Let your affections for a human being, Shriram, human being, be given up, and in its place, worship me. Due to what virtues you feel to that silly Ram who was banished from his kingdom, who has failed to achieve the object, whose days are numbered. O deluded woman, consider yourself wise and act accordingly. Stand next to me, and you will dwell in palace, not amongst little creatures, beasts, predator, prey in this place. Having said these words to Sita Mata, Sita Mata is becoming more and more upset. And when he did not want to listen, he did not want to hear anything else, with this huge form, he grabs on to her. And I want you to listen to this part. Verse 16, Slok 16. This is where he's going to touch her. This is very significant. जय बोले बाबा तब शरणम अभेगम्य सुदृष्टवा राक्षसः कामोहितः गृह रावणासीतं बुद्ध के रोहिणी में वा जय बोले बाबा तब शरणम. With his left hand, he caught hold of the lotus-eyed Sita locks, the hair. So he grabbed on and he pulled. And with the right hand, he went as far as to hold to her right thigh and pulled her to him. As she struggled out of fear, shock, the moment, the anxiety, this demon, this walking form of death with sharpened teeth, his lust is overcoming him. He is so close to her. He wants to smell her. And that which was made of gold, the pushpak, the vehicle, he throws her on it. And he mounts this vehicle as he's getting ready to head back to Lanka. She's wriggling and fighting. Ravan is bitten with passion and he cannot think. Better sense would not prevail. While being airborne through the air, Ravan is focusing on where he's going, and she began to wail loudly like a maddened animal. She's squealing, addressing Sri Ram, even though you have fully, as she's yelling out, Lakshman, the first part, Lakshman, the lighter of your older brother Sri Ram, you would not know where I am, you would not know where I've gone. She says, Prabhu Sri Ram, you have renounced your happiness, the throne, the city, the place, the family, his mother, his father. Whatever is solicited, you give them that. You have staked your life for the happiness and the virtue of other people. O scion of the Raghu race, you are not able to see me being toted away, borne into the air by this unrighteous fool. Undoubtedly, you are the tamer of the unruly, O scorcher of all enemies. How then you do not punish Ravan now, who is so full of sin? He has touched my hair, he has touched my body. Turning to Ravan, of course, the fruit of this evil deed, O insolent man, is not being seen. The consequence is not being seen, it's not preserved. You cannot preserve it immediately. But time plays a part in the fruition of these type of acts. Just as the ripening fruit has to rot before the grain, the seed is ready to germinate, to plant, to go again, to propagate. Your understanding has allowed you, because of your adversity, to good behavior. This outrageous act, you are telling yourself, I am fortunate today, but you are causing death and destruction today. Suffer will you when the misfortune that comes by the hands of Sri Ram, it is coming. Kaikeyi and all her workers today, their desires have been fulfilled. I, the lawful consort of that illustrious hero, covetous of virtue, is being borne away by this desperado, is being toted away. They who sent us into the forest, they're happy now. Shlok 29. I pray, Karnikar tree, you who are standing in this Janastan area forest, the Janastan forest, you are witness to my hardship and my suffering as a woman. Kindly tell Sri Ram, this is our first prayer, she prays 5 times. Kindly tell Sri Ram what happened to me. Kindly tell Sri Ram where I am. Tell him Ravan is taking me away, he would not know. Secondly, Godavari, you are flowing in the vicinity, he will come to you for bath, he will come to you for offering Tarpan Jal. When he comes to your banks and he is in the water, tell him, please, I pray to you, you who have all the swans and the cranes, please tell him, let him know that I was toted away. I make offerings to all the devatas that live as forest animals, forest trees, forest flowers. All of you who are standing witness quietly looking on, tell him, tell my Lord. If you cannot do it, I pray to all the species, all the deers, all the birds that are flocking from trees to trees. Please kindly tell my husband, my beloved spouse, that I, who is more valuable to him than everything in this world, I was born away. And as Sita Mata is being carried away, she is crying and she is talking and she is praying. And she's bawling for help. We enter into Shlok 35. Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tab Sharanam. Satar Karuna Vacho Vali Panti. Sadukhita Vanasparti Gatam Gridhratham Darshanam Yatalochana Jatayu Jatayu Pashyamamaryanam Hridaya Man Ye Tavatha Anena Raksha Savendriyanam Kurunam Papan Karmanam Nesha Hari Varanishatam. Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Jai Bole Baba Tab Sharanam. Shiv Baba is looking on, the Leela is playing, it is unfolding. You'll hear more about that tomorrow night. As she is bawling, as she is creeling, and she's in full distress, that large-eyed Sita Mata caught the sight of that vulture, Jatayu, who is perched in the tree. As they are flying, he is sitting in the tree. Seeing him, perceiving him, Sita Mata giving away to all the fear. For as she's in the clutches of Ravan, she starts to squeal in agony. Look at me being ruthlessly abducted like a woman without a protector by this Ravan of sinful deeds. Oh Jatayu, oh noble Jatayu, save me, save me, save me. Oh, please come. Jatayu, Jatayu, my abduction as well. Please, if you cannot save me, he has all the sword, all the bow, all the arrow, all the weapon. If you cannot save me, you are just a bird. Relate my situation to my Prabhu Sri Ram and Lakshman. in full. Slok 39, 40, sorry. Tell them. So now we have Jatayu coming into the discourse. Jatayu speaks to Ravan. He starts to yell, but he himself has a size. He's big. He's not the little bird that you and I know. O Ravan, you are endowed with 10 heads. I am that well-known king of the vultures, Jatayu by name, and I have great might, devoted to the eternal code of virtue, dharma, proper, principled action. And true to my promise, O brother, you should not perpetrate this reproachful act. In this moment, Sri Ram, son of Dashrath, is the ruler of this world. He is vying in the same way Indra, Varun, all these devatas, devoted to the welfare of all beings. This lady whom you are trying to bear away, this illustrious, lawfully wedded wife of that excellent Lord, Sita is her name. How dare a king firm on virtue like you are good, you are a virtuous man, lay a finger on another person's consort? This type of behavior is never to be done, and therefore, my friend, avert vile destiny, downward movement. Don't do this. Don't lay a finger on another person's wife. Don't do it. A wise man should never deliberately do things that will bring pain and suffering to him and his family. The consort of others should be protected from other people's unwanted advance and unwanted touch. Why are you doing this? If Kara, the demon stationed in Jastan, who had transgressed his limits, when Suparnak, your sister, had transgressed her limits, and she was damaged, tell me truly, what is the fault of Sri Ram? For which reason you have come here to abduct his spouse? Remember the history of why something caused something. Why is Ravan taking Sita Mata? Lakshman had cut off the nose and the ears. He damaged the sister of Ravan. And in retaliation now, the sister goes home and says, I saw a beautiful wife. She's the wife of those people that damaged me. And she's so beautiful. You should have her. You are the greatest king. If you go and take her, out of revenge, she's saying this. In the first way, when you hear about Sam, Dham, Dand and Ded, I'm trying to coax you, I'm trying to talk to you, I'm trying to reason with you. And this is what Jatayu is doing. Release Sita at once. Now it's getting strict. Let not Sri Ram consume you, O friend. Fearful eye, fearful his eyes, they will convert you to ash. In this life, and he starts to teach him now, just as how Indra burns that demon Vitra, you will be burnt. What you are doing? Imagine a person takes their clothing and they tie a very poisonous snake, and they want to dress that beautiful clothing around their neck, but they don't realize it's a beautiful but poisonous serpent. It would be a wonderful mala of death around their neck, and they put it for themselves. Most times we are putting ourselves to harm, to some form of shame, to some form of loss. We cause it amongst or on ourselves. That load alone, the man is causing oppression to himself. Therefore, just as how when it comes to food, devotees, just as how it comes to food that alone should be eaten, which could be digested and does not cause sickness. Food that helps the body through digestion, eat that. Things that cause sickness, trouble, don't eat that. Just as how you understand that example, O Ravan, heed my warning. Ravan does not listen. Jatayu continues to tell him, now a little more rough. He says, for 60,000 years that elapsed since I was born. During this time, I have duly carried out the hereditary rulership of birds. I have been I have been here doing my duty. I have grown old, and you are still young, and you are heavily armed with arrow and bow, protected by armor, mounted on your chariot. Nevertheless, today, if you do not put down that princess from the Vedaha territory, you will bear my wrath. You will bear my force. If I leave you now, you want to take her. If I leave you now to go and call Sri Ram, you will run away because you are afraid of him. He will damage you. And I understand that. But face the old boy now. If you do not heed my warning, fight me, O great hero. And when I strike you dead and you lie on the ground like that person called Khanda did in the past, that Sri Ram who is clad in the bark of trees, the tree bark, clothing of the ascetics, he will reach here. And he will know that I was not afraid of you. So long as I breed, you can on no account carry away this blessed lady, this Sita, this consort of Sri Ram, whose eyes resemble petal flowers, the petals of the flowers. You who is the evil one, I am trying to please him, Sri Ram, that high-souled individual, son of Dashrath, his needs must be done. Listen to this word, Shlok 26. His need must be done by me, even if it costs me my life, I will offer it to him. Vishnu Bhagwan ki jai. Let's hear what happens in this slok. Jai bole Baba tab sharanam, Jai bole Baba tab sharanam, Jaya Samba Sada Shiva tab sharanam, Tada bhav bad buddha ye yatam, Yuddhav gridha rakshasa sayo, Jatayu sampaksh Yorga Malyava Yor Mahaparvatayo Veer Jaya Bole Baba Tav Sharanam Jaya Bole Baba Tav Sharanam Jaya Bole Baba Tav Sharanam Jai bole Baba tab sharanam, Jaya Samba Sada Shiva tab sharanam. When challenged in this way, Ravan rushes at Jatayu. Rushing Jatayu with all the weapons, and they start to exchange blows against each other, the two warriors. They clash like two huge clouds in the sky. The conflict between the vulture and the demon at this time became very loud, like two great mountains coming together. One with wing, one with chariot, but coming together nonetheless. With most terrible force, all the different arrows were being shot at Jatayu. Great amount of arrows. And then the great talons, the claws of this vulture come down and they get into the back of Ravan. He sticks him in his back and rips his flesh with intention to root out the life from the body of Ravan, as if he was ripping at him. The talons hold on to his head and scratch his scalp. The talons hold on to the bow and breaks it. And Ravan has to retreat and get another bow from the chariot. And he gets ready to shoot again. Who was possessed? Ravan, who was possessed of extraordinary prowess, pierced and butchered by this vulture. The sharp and terrible barbed arrows that he mounted on his bow now, he shoots. And Jatayu sees the tears that are trickling down the face of Jagat Janani, that Ma Sita Mata. Jatayu with more fervor, with more strength, he puts aside the arrows that are in his body. He is bleeding, but he goes again with this newfound energy. And he goes when he saw the tears, when he saw the pain, and he knows if he only stops to care for himself, Ravan is going to disappear. Ravan is going to go, so he has to engage him. Jatayu, possessed of renewed energy, with his feet broke the bow, broke the arrows. He starts to rip apart the jewels, the gems around the neck of Ravan. Ravan is in a fight. Ravan starts to shoot arrows as if it was rain falling upon the body of Jatayu. Thousands of arrows, because of the prayers that Ravan is saying, the arrows starts to multiply. The bird does not bother. In fact, where he's standing upon the earth, the way how the arrows coated the ground, it seems as if, Valmiki is saying, it looks as if a bird is sitting in his nest, the black circle around him, and Jatayu in the middle. Having shaken off those arrows, Jatayu, with renewed energy, comes now, blazing speed, and hits the chariot, and hits Ravan, and starts to rip the heads. The heads start to grow back. As he's removing the heads of Ravan, the heads start to grow back. He doesn't know what is this. He knocks down the canopy in the chariot, the head covering. That glorious Jatayu, possessed of great might, struck all the different parts. He started to rip apart the chariot. Bow was broken, the chariot was broken, the charioteer, the person driving the chariot for Ravan, the claw, the thumb, let's say the thumb, goes into the chest and he rips that guy. All the devatas, seeing how he's fighting and he's destroying the charioteer, destroying the chariot, the weapons of Ravan. Every time Ravan tries something, Jatayu was blocking him. And all the devatas are clapping, all the souls are clapping. Great job, bravo. Oh, great desperado, oh, great soul. You are doing the working of Sri Ram. How great are you? Exhausted due to age. Jatayu is flying, but he's blowing. He's losing breath. He's fighting with his wings in the air and he has to keep flapping. He's so big, his wingspan, so big his body is, so he has to flap hard to stay afloat, aloft. And all that is happening, Ravan does not let go of Sita. He holds her and he's holding now a sword in his hand. And Jatayu, who is given great energy, surely, says to Ravan, surely it is due to the destruction of the demonic race you are holding on to the spouse of Ram, whose arrows have penetrated this body, O Ravan. With you near and dear ones, ministers, all are drinking. Watch me think about what I am saying. You are drinking cool and refreshing water, but you do not know in that water you want to drink, you are drinking poison. You see that person that you are holding on to? That is poison in human form for your race because you have touched her. You are not understanding the unforeseen negative results that are coming. Unwise people perish soon. You are going to perish. Caught are you in the noose of the death, Yamraj. Where can you run? Where can you hide? What will deliver you? You are like a fish in the sea. You are a fish in the river that you are fighting the line. Although you have already hooked the bait, you got greedy and you went for it, and now the hook is in your mouth. You could run left, you could run right, you could do what you want. It is a matter of time before you lose your life. Sri Ram and Lakshman, for their part, have descended upon this earth, and it is hard to overcome. It will never have an account for these types of actions that you are doing. My friend, you will be dead soon. When he continues to talk, they start to fight again, and now they hold on to each other and they're fighting. But when Jatayu held on to the back of Ravan, he starts to rip. And tormented in this way, Ravan could not pull. He could not get away from the talons, the claws of this bird. The beak starts to eat at his shoulder and is ripping. Blood is oozing. And still in the fight, in all that is happening, Ravan is not letting go of this woman. He is still so lustful. This is mine now. I am not letting go. Pressing Sita tightly now to the lap because he cannot hold her to his chest. The bird is right here. So he locks her there. This afflicted Ravan, beside himself with pain and rage, he strikes Jatayu with his palm, dodging the blow because of his strength. Jatayu, as he was pulling away to get away from the hand, as he wanted to hit him like this in his face, Jatayu pulls away and he two claws, he swipes the 10 heads. And when he takes the 10 heads, as I said again, it grows back. Then he took the claw and he ripped the left arms of his body. All the left hands fell, but by the mysticism, just as how snakes, the analogy here, you have an anthill cobra in India, cobra, and when you look into that anthill, you will see snakes coming out. Just as how the person who wants to catch the snake doesn't know how many snakes are in that deep dark hole, and you'll see snake coming out, another snake is coming, another snake is coming, snake is coming. He says from the anthill, snakes are going to be emitting flames of poison, and we don't know how many new snake is coming out. Just so his body was like the anthill, and new arms started to protrude and build back and come back just as if nothing had happened. And there, becoming very distressed, becoming very frustrated. Why is this bird able to give me so much trouble? Why is this bird causing pain and untoward harm to me? He takes out the sword and he lops off. Let's hear what happens. 42. Jai bole Baba tab sharanam tasya vyayam cha namastya ramasya arthasasa ravanah paksho padhav na chakshoshva charakandha mukpate jaya bhole Baba tab sharanam. He drags the sword and hits the beak. He hits the 2 foot of Jatayu, and then he cuts the 2 wings of Jatayu. With his wings sundered off, this great ogre, this great demon starts to laugh as the vulture is falling from in the air where they were fighting. Sita squeals because now on the ground the wings fall lifeless to the side, coated in blood. His body is oozing blood. Jatayu is in pain and he's drenched in blood. That princess Sita, she breaks free from Ravan. Just as a person rushes to their own loved one, to their own relative and relation, Sita Mata, this young girl, runs to this bird as if it be her father, is lying lifeless. His energy is withering. The life wants to leave the body, but he remains as he wishes to tell Sri Ram what had happened. And as she's there, embracing that bird, because of all the injuries caused by this great Ravan, this terrible demon, that daughter of Janak is shining but crying. We move now. Where Sri Ram, knowing that he's lying on the ground, Ravan jumps back on the chariot and he goes, leaving with Sita to Lanka. And Jatayu is bleeding slowly, but the breath is there. It's remaining there. And he's waiting patiently for Sri Ram to come. Dasaratha ye vidmahi Sita valbhya dhimahi tanno Ram prachodayat tanno Ram prachodayat purvajo apya yukta matarastu lakshmanenah Sambhashmam tam suragrihi Mahasaram prati jagraham Ravanasa nigaye mahabaho pravridha rasho manamanaha avashtabhyam dhanushchaitra ramo lakshmana brata britaye ati Dasharataye vedmahi Sita vallabhya dhimahi Tanno Ram prachodayat Tanno Ram prachodayat Dasarata putra vedmahi Shri Syabhara Ramachandra ki Jai. Dori elder Sri Ram, for his part, who is capable of picking up the best part of everything. He speaks to Lakshman at this point in Ramayana. These are a few chapters down the road. Lakshman is trying to encourage him. Lakshman is trying to entice him to don't give up the search. They have been searching for Sita. They've been searching and they don't know head to toe where to find Sita Mata. So if somebody says, how do they know where to find Hanuman Baba? If somebody says, how do they know to find Jatayu? Why is it that Sri Ram meets Jatayu? Listen to this. He says, although I am the elder, I will listen to the younger one. You are talking sense and I could take advice. I'm not beyond taking advice. I am not so haughty. I am not so arrogant that I am old and I know everything. Sometimes, even Sri Ram is saying, sometimes you don't know everything. He says, I listen to your beautiful words, dear one. I wait for your wonderful, highly placed advice. And although he's angry because of the loss of Sita, he speaks with love. He says, oh darling, Lakshman, darling, where will we go? Where to search? Lakshman replies, we should very quickly start to search this Janastan area. Don't give up. We should Janastan alone. This area has plenty of demons. Covered with trees, climbers, different things are living in the trees above us. In this area, there are different type of gorges, chasms, valleys. There are many places that have hidden enemies, hidden beasts of different species, habitat. This place holds for Kinnaras, Gandharvas, and they play games. We should ransack this entire forest until we find some clue of where sister has gone. Amongst men like you, never should you be shaken, oh Prabhu, oh brother, by any form of calamity. Sri Ram playing the part of the husband that is distraught. This is found when Narad Muni gives the shrap to and other places to Lord Vishnu. How he ends up with the Vanar army and so on. When he makes Narad Muni's face look like a monkey. Shura, an arrow that is Shura referring to razor sharp edges, is mounted on the arrow. And Sri Ram gets very angry and he says, let's begin to search and I will destroy anything and everything if I have to get back my Devi. And as they are walking, looking, if you ever seen the movie or in the Ram Leela, they are looking like this and they are hunting. This is that moment, but Sri Ram was very angry and emotional. And in the horizon, as they were walking in this narrow track seat in your mind, just enough for one person. Two people can't go like this. One person, front and back. Lakshman behind, Ram in front. As they are walking through this narrow path, in this secondary growth, strong growth forest, high trees, low trees, covered. They see a great vulture. Seeing the vulture, which looked like a mountain peak, Sri Ram spoke to Lakshman, Sita, the princess of Vedaha territory, has been devoured by that bird. There's no doubt about it. Evidently, that is a demon roaming this forest in the guise of a vulture. Having eaten Devi, he is lying there to ease himself, overfilled. It is as if he cannot move. He's watching the blood and thinking that's the goddess blood. But he cannot at a distance make out his true nature. I shall shoot him now and destroy him because he ate her. Saying so angrily, fitted the arrow and the bow. And Sri Ram rushes forward to him, shaking the earth under his feet. When he reached there, the bird turns. Remember, there's no hands now. For those people that are infirmed, for those people that lack the ability to do proper pranam or jap, mudra, the bird does not have wings or any appendage. The feet were cut off, the hands were cut off. He bows his head to his best. Tears, blood is vomiting, from foaming coming out of his body as his lungs is collapsing, as it were. As he saw the features of the son of Dasrath, he starts to pray. Sita madhya vedaha mukta pata vihayam asyam rakshas niham purvam mamana hantu turva yetvasi Narayanaya Krishnaya Ramastavanstatu Vegyan Sita Sakhaye Priyakatham Griharaja Pariye Brishta Jo Parijoye Madhyano Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. That godly lady you are seeking for in this forest, that godly woman, I have fought and I have seen that Ravan, that king of the demon race, took her. O child, may you be blessed with long life. You have lost her, Lakshman has lost her, and the queen was kidnapped by the powers of this great Ravan. He has great amount of illusionary powers. In the course of our struggle with that Ravan, I destroyed his bow, I destroyed his chariot, I destroyed the banner, his flag, his dwaj. I destroyed the canopy, giving him shelter. I scraped him, I mined him, I destroyed his skin, he's bleeding. I reduced that chariot to splinters in this contest of strength. But then he took out his sword and Prabhu, he cut my wings because I was exhausted and I couldn't keep flapping to stay up. And there he takes Sita, daughter of Janak. Ravan flew in the air. Prabhu, you're standing there with that mounted arrow. Do not kill me who has already been destroyed by this demon. And Sri Ram, listening to his story, becomes very emotional, becomes very moved. He starts to think about what he is being told. Jai Raghunandana Jai Siya Ram Raja Brishta Vani Basa Sita Nashta Mritho Dvijaha Edrisheya Mama Lakshmi Deha Deepa He Pavaka Kamna Sampurva Myapi Chitadhya Prativrevyam Mahodepam Soapi Nano Manal Lakshmi Vishaya Sarita Patitate Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. He takes down the arrow, he puts down the bow, and he says, Jatayu, puts his head on his lap now. Prabhu is feeling helpless, and he starts to cry. And he's crying to Lakshman that how afflicted, how sorrowful, how distressing it is that this vulture is sacrificing himself for me. On this narrow passage, it was only by faith we found him. How would we know where he is? Sri Ram spoke the following words to Lakshman. My king, my throne, my castle, my parents has been lost. I have been exiled to this forest. Sita too has disappeared. This bird now has died. This bird is so pure and I am so unfortunate. Misfortune follows me wherever I go. It consumes my life like a fire consumes paper or wood to be burnt. Even if I were to cross this ocean full to the brim with water, and in my heart I am full with valor, even then my bad luck would cause me to lose. Today, even the ocean, the Lord of the rivers, will dry up because of how much my misfortune is. If my misfortune should happen to fall in the water will be punished. The water, if I touch the water will become unfortunate and dry up. The sea would suffer because of the touch with me. Today, this bird is unknown to me, and because it is coming in close with Sita Mata, he knows about my name. Now, look, he is dying. I am the cause of the death of this individual. In this world comprising of animate and inanimate beings, there is no more unlucky person than myself, by whom this trap in the shape of adversity has been found. I am only finding one trouble after the next, and anybody who comes close to me, they are pain. Look at you, look at Sita, look at Jatayu now. Having spoken to Sri Ram, with Lakshman stroked the hair, the feathers, the head of Jatayu again and again, showing filial affection, brotherly love. So much emotion became filled within Sri Ram that he feels, although you would say he's a stranger, he feels so much because of his purity and his virtuous acts. Embracing this vulture, this king whose wings were cut off, is now bathed in blood, uttering where the bird is still saying, where Jatayu, Sri Ram is saying, Jatayu, please tell me. Nikrita paksha rudhiravasakti tamagriva raja parigriha raghaviti kavamitili pravana samgatati vinamacha vachana nipata pata bhumi now kodi jaya rama sita rama jaya jaya Rama, Shri Rama, Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. O bird, where did the princess of Mithila, where did she go? O dear one, don't allow your life to leave. Tell me, Prabhu, tell me, Jatayu, tell your Prabhu, where did she go? Perceiving that life was getting ready to leave. Looking at Sri Ram and looking at Lakshman, Jatayu tells him that this person called Ravan used all his conjuring, all his tricks, like a storm, like a cloudy cloud. He does it like a dark, dense cloud. You don't know what's coming. Rain, no rain, lightning. I don't know what to expect next. Sita was born by him, the ruler of the demons, the ogres. He's the one who lopped off my wings. He's the one, when I was catching my breath, I couldn't, because of age, I could not breathe, Prabhu. He cuts me. That night stalker, that vampire, lives to the south. If you cross that water and you go southward, you will find him, and he has her there. That is his mainstay. That is his city. Go there. Realizing that Sri Ram, Sri Ram, realizing that Jatayu is on his last, he says to Lakshman, look, Jatayu would accept the spirit form, the Jivatma wants to come out of the body for my sake. Life in this body of Jatayu is very faint. Soon it will be over. Jatayu, if you can utter a word, tell me more about my Sita. May all be well with you. May your body be stabilized. May your mind be stabilized as your life is about to leave the body. But tell me, please, uncle, chacha, tell me. Look at the respect he pays to him. Although he is not of his species, he's below him in terms of stature. He says, uncle, tell me. And he repeats about how all that Ravan had done. And whilst he's talking, he says, my senses are becoming dull. My vision is growing unsteady. He says, Prabhu, I am seeing as if the leaves, as he's looking up, see it because of the sunlight, your eye dazzling. And the trees, their leaves start to look gold. The hair starts to look like kush grass. The owner of a treasure unwantedly lost in the hour of Ravana. The moment he took Sita, Vinda was the name of the hour, and that time was passing. He tells Sri Ram the moment it had happened, so he has an idea of how long ago it was. He says, I have no anxiety. May you not be filled with anxiety, Prabhu. But your will is being done. Whilst the vulture, who remained undeluded, even though he was dying, was replying to the words of Sri Ram, blood started to flow out his mouth. It was time for the body to release the Jeev. And if Ravan himself, that great sage's son, the brother of Kubir, could have done this to this bird, Sri Ram is watching with pity, with daya, with mercy. But he says, remember Kubir's brother, sage, Rishi, Vishrav is the father of Ravan. That person did you wrong, Prabhu. Jatayu, the king of the birds, yielded up his life, which was difficult to attain. This age where he had so much of sense, knowledge. This Jatayu, the Jeev, leaves his body in the presence. In the moment, Sri Ram is holding him, touching him, playing with his head. Sri Ram is there. Speak, O friend, speak, and playing with him. Speak, O friend, don't give up. Don't lose. The life breath of the vulture is out of the body, and Sri Ram is still playing the part. And he says, please answer me. Please don't stop talking. Please say her name one more time. Sita, Mitali, say her name, dropping his head on the ground. The feet stretches out. The body is lifeless. It is losing the strength to keep up the neck. Jatayu sank to the earth and his head dropped forward. The coppery eyes of this bird closed in the lap of Sri Ram. Sri Ram, who was weighed down by the numerous misfortune, all that was happening to him, turns to Lakshman and he says, his body has been shed here. This body that has been shed here by this bird in this Dandaka forest, this land of all the demons. He lived here for many years, and today it is a demon that has come to rob him of his life and limbs. This vulture, for his part, who lived many years here, tried for such a long period, but the time for him to go had come. O Lakshman, how could somebody who had held a high office as king rushes to save somebody who he does not know the heroism, the virtue, the dharmic side of this person? He is superior to that Ravan because of who he is, how he acted, how he died. He is greater than. The courage this person has, having renounced the the throne, this mighty ruler of vultures, bird, inherited by him and his race and his forefathers, this king of birds, laid down his life for my sake. Mahavishnu incarnate in the form of Sri Ram. And indeed it made him pious, this valiant soul, practicing virtue and worth, approaching. Just by coming here and paying pranam to his body, a person will get blessings. For protection is found everywhere. But if you go to the right place, my protection, even for under species, subhuman species, is possible, Lakshman. O Lakshman, son of Sumintra, agony caused by the abduction of Sita does not pinch me in this moment. The pain caused by the loss of Sita does not hurt me in this moment. Oh Lakshman, oh dear one, the death of this vulture, he died for my sake. That is scorching me. It is burning me. The ruler of the feathered kingdom, worthy of adoration, honor, in the same way as the glorious and the highly illustrious Raja Dashrath, our own father. Go, Lakshman, and fetch wood. Different type of people, they say we building a pyre for Anteshti, for funeral. But it's not any type of wood. When you are a great politician, sandalwood, undumbara, different type, choice wood is used so that when, just as in your Hawan, choice wood is used so that the person gets more and more merit when the simple prayer is done. Likewise, he guides Lakshman, go and get logs of wood that will bring goodness so that I myself will produce fire and cremate this king who is deserving of liberation because he suffered death for my sake. I will take the Lord of the feathered kingdom on a funeral pyre, set fire to this body. That person, that body that was killed by the demon and the demonic race. And I will allow him, I will permit him, Slok 28 of the Aranya Khan, duly permit him to ascend to the unsurpassed realms. Allow him to enter into that place of Swargalok, the highest of the highest place, never to come again. I will perform his rites, which in lot will give him all the benefit of the Yagna that he, this great Yagna, this great Seva, this great service, he has already earned it all because he never retreated from Dharma. He never stopped. This type of valor is reserved for those people who will make gift of land. That is referring to Kshatri. Those people that will host the Yagna, pay the Brahman, share food for the different castes, share and help all. Those people have inherent in them this type of valor to help those that are downtrodden, to help women, children, to save them, sacrifice themselves at all costs. Those people have this, but he was not that. He was just a vulture. People would look at a substandard person and say, because of your species, because of your race, because of your religion, you are substandard, and I do not expect you to have that inherent ability or capability to do good or godly. But Sri Ram is saying, look how great Jatayu. Look how great Jatayu is. That although he could be labeled, he rose above that label. He rose above the moment and he was able to achieve this greatness. I want to personally do this prayer so that he is going to be able to achieve that great benediction when he arrives into the Swarga. O Lakshman, allow him to go upon the pyre, to put the body. Shri Ram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama, Eva Mukhya Tvaya Chitham Dipatya Marupyat Pata Gheshwaram Dhya Hridayam Ramo Dharmatma Swadha Bandhu Meva Dukhitam Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Nama Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatma Yanamo Nama. Sri Ram, whose mind was fixated on doing the right for this great Jeev, this great soul, conclude the final acts, the final rites. His mind was focused on virtuous, and Lakshman helped him light the pyre, and they cremated the body. They went back to the forest and they searched for a bulky root vegetable called Maharohi. The powerful Sri Ram sat down and they took blades of kush grass and laid it on the ground and made pinda balls, kneaded balls of this Maharohi root. When somebody says, I must make the pinda, sapinda out of urdi, out of grind rice, boiled rice, consider Sri Ram made it out of vegetable root. So it must have more. When we sit down to do Gyan Yagya and we're reading from Gard Puran, and you are hearing that there are different type of shrad and different type of pinda ingredients, consider this. Made them into balls, and he offered them not only for the one that had passed away, but for his ancestors, for those people that would have gone on, allowing him saying the mantras, the Tarpan mantras, as he was offering in the river Godavari, Tarpan offerings, using the mantra but whisper in volume. Even then he offered now to Dasarath. Consider this. At this point, as we are getting ready to close, Raja Dashrath did not have this blessing. Raja Dashrath dies at a distance from Sri Ram. Tomorrow night we'll go into, not tomorrow night, next week Yagya. We'll go into that. Why that had to happen. It does bear in mind, how is Jatayu a bird, but he's so blessed that God incarnates to do his funeral rites. Something to think about. When they had done the Tarpan offerings and Sri Ram had finished whispering all the different prayers, the two sons of the Raghukul sit down to talk, reciting prescribed scripture. Sri Ram says the vulture is deserving of all the ceremonies because he had accomplished three things. A glorious deed in the shape of staking his life to rescue a woman. In the clutches of Ravan, he goes to save a woman, this frame. He's brave, he's valorous. And because he died in this dharmic way, in pursuit of duty, a policeman dies in the pursuit of his duty, a soldier dies in the pursuit of protecting innocent. Gard Puran is what I'm quoting. The person dies in the pursuit of their duty. Think about all those nurses and caregivers, first responders, when the pandemic was running right now with the white pneumonia virus, with all the new variants in the COVID. People that, regardless to their self, they're thinking about the patient or the person who is bleeding or the person, the victim, and they are risking their life and limb to help them. First, that gives him liberation. Seconded in Gard Puran. Secondly, the one having been killed in action, in the battle, as a Kshatri. He's not a Kshatri. As a warrior, in our Dharma and other religion, it is believed that if you die in Dharma, in the pursuit of your duty, you will get liberation. He says he's not that, and he still was able to get that blessing, that virtuous death. Not as a coward. He did not run away from the battle or run away to save himself. He stood there with strength and with God's blessings fought. And further, the third accomplishment, he is cremated and his rites are being done by Sri Ram himself, where eminent Vedic mantras have been chanted. This great king of the vultures presently attained the highest and holiest destiny, conducive to the blessedness of this soul, because of his acts. Having offered water on behalf of the soul, setting their minds on rest, the future of Jatayu was fixed. The future of that soul gained liberation, entry into the final beatitude of heavens, the richness, where Mahavishnu himself relies. Their mind on the recovery of Sita now refocused and laid there, resting, as if Vishnu himself, Indra himself, two great valorous leaders had laid down to rest, and then the next morning with strength, renewed energy, as they went on to save and interact with another devotee. It was time to meet another person. And here, as we end the 68th chapter of the Aranya of Valmiki's Ramayan, we bow after reading this Jatayu Katha. Blessed is the person that listens to the Katha of the devotee of God, that may the blessing of listening to the words, the verses, the authentic texts, the actual acts, the actual words of Sri Ram, may it infect your life, guiding your duty, your choices, your behavior, your friendship, your association, allowing you to emulate the behavior, the ending point of Jatayu. You and I could achieve greatness like this if we emulate and follow follow the leader in this regard. Prem Savolosya Pati Ramachandra Ki Jai. Tonight, as I conclude at this point, before we wrap up with final mantra, remember we are the Sri Krishna Seva Ashram, and myself and Keshava. We have embarked tonight, as we finish our first night, we have embarked on this first 3 nights of Ramayan Katha taken from Valmiki's Ramayan. Next week, following week, for 3 weeks, we are going to do three nights of virtual Yagna to reach all devotees wherever you may be, far and wide, near and far, as we celebrate the inauguration of the Sri Ram Mandir, Janam Bhumi Mandir in Ayodhya, India. That is happening on the 22nd of January. We encourage, as I'll be sending out to the different groups and posting on different media, how we could light our diyas as we really prepare to celebrate Diwali from the perspective of the returning of Sri Ram. Not only in one place, but we need Sri Ram in our life. Just as Jatayu did. When we are faced with decisions, we need God to guide our movement. When we are tired of doing the right thing, we need God to guide our steps and to show us the path to get where we need to be. These discourses and what we will continue in tomorrow night and the last night, Saturday, are being read for our benefit. Please share. Send me a comment, send me a message, and let me know where you're viewing from. If you have questions, please send them. If you enjoyed tonight's discourse, we need to hear from you. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Support our YouTube channel as we are trying to send out the word more and more. Send your messages to Sankhya Television and encourage them to do more satsang and do the good work that they are doing. God bless all sponsors as they have allowed us to be live with you in your home. God bless all those that have behind the camera, the team that is working to get this video edited and get it out, the lighting crew, the sound crew, everything, so that we could have it done in time so that you could be viewing like tonight. Until tomorrow night, everybody, God's blessings to you, and may you rise in this life. May the power of Sri Ram infect your life, and don't be unfortunate, don't be downtrodden, be uplifted. And God bless you that you must be, for those of you that lost your loved ones, may your loved ones also be positively impacted by this discourse. And may the blessings of Sri Ram help those souls migrate. May God bless you. Let's put our hands together. Ramayan Visarjana hotu hai, suno Veera Hanuman. Tomorrow night we'll do the Visarjan. Tonight, dear God, as we conclude our prayer, as we conclude our worship, thank you for this time spent in prayer and spent in satsang. As we chant some of the traditional twangs and the tunes to help those reminisce on Ramayans of past, to teach the younger ones your holy glory and your holy name, your holy history. Dear God, bless us to do a good job and allow us to reach into the minds of those that are watching and listening. Thank you for the time and bless us to do it again. Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Chasaka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. प्रेम से बोलो महापति महादेव की जय, श्री आदि शक्ति माता की जय, श्री पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय. Jai Jai Sitaram. Sitaram everybody. And God bless you and God bless your family. From Baba and Priya Mata, the rest of us here at the Ashram, God bless you. Have a wonderful evening and see you tomorrow night in Satsang again. Keep good everybody. Siya Bhara Ramachandra ki Jai. Sitaram. Bye-bye.